Hi there, happy Monday. Welcome to the Love Thyself channel. So, self image. I know that seems like a loaded topic, but how do you see yourselves? Are you happy with what you see? Like the title says, do you like what you see? All right, so first things first, since self image is so loaded, um, I have condensed it into like three core concepts that I've jotted down. So the first portion that I think is significant is self perception. So that's how we physically see ourselves, our personality traits, our abilities, things like that. And it also has a play with like our strengths, our weaknesses, and also how others see us. All right. So I want to say um, my first grapple with perception was when I was 8 years old, and it was a big one. So that sort of shaped a lot of my self perception type of traits and things like that. So when I was 8, I don't know if you guys remember, I grew up back in the, let me see, early 80s. For me was 8, like, yeah, like 80, 81 or whatever. And I don't know if you guys remember that those 5-gallon jugs that used to hold like apple cider, apple juice, and it had like the glass like finger loop handle, but it was huge. It was like, I wouldn't say like 5 gallons. It had to be 5 gallons because it was definitely more than a gallon. So anyway, I think that my grandmother used to get apple juice in there, but my mom said that she thinks maybe water, but I don't know. I don't remember water. But anyway, um, when the liquid was done, my grandmother would clean it out and she would put coins in there. And then I was told explicitly, do not ever touch this because one, it's glass, and two, there are going to be coins in there. So I don't even think I was allowed to pour it when there was liquid in there just because it being glass and it was fragile. So anyway, fast forward, there was one day in the summer, I was over my grandmother's house. Unlike, she had like a little sun porch, and there was this glass 5-gallon jug. It was empty. It had several coins in it. Like she used to save pennies, any kind of coin. So it's there. What did I do? I picked it up. So I'm picking it up and it's pretty much full. So what happens? I'm holding it and the bottom just falls out of it. So if you can imagine just the center of the jug, just the bottom fell out because it was so heavy with coins. So I'm still holding it. So of course, what's the natural, reflex? It's going to be a jerk because the bottom part has fallen out. So hence that's this cut here that I have on my chin. So I don't even remember crying. I was in shock. I'll never forget what I had on that day. I had on like a peach tank top and some tan shorts. So I looked down, there was blood everywhere. And I'm still holding this glass with all of, the jagged edges from it breaking from all the weight. All the coins are on the porch. And so when my grandmother gets out there, she almost passed out. I don't even remember how I got to the ER, but long story short, I had 5 stitches here, 2 stitches here. But early on, I was like, wow, I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm in a bad situation because I disobeyed. I picked up this jar that I wasn't supposed to. So that taught me early on, okay, I could learn or see bad things that could happen after that situation. And I was like, okay, I don't have to go through it. I'm good. So I had a cousin of mine. If he's watching this, he'll know who he is. So we were like 2 months apart. We sort of grew up like brother and sister. So I would get him to do stuff that I was curious about. I'm like, oh, that looks neat. You think you can fit through that window? Just weird stuff. Because then I would see what happens to him. I'm like, okay, I totally don't want anything to happen to me. And, yeah, that's what kids do or whatever. But the moral of the story is I can just hear about or think about the worst outcome of a situation, and that will have me act a certain way because I don't want that outcome for myself. So I got that example really early, like I said, age 8, self-perception. So I was like, nope. But then it messed with my self-image because I thought, oh my God, my face is not the same. I'm ugly. I have this scar. So that probably lasted like, I don't know, a year and a half or so. I had a good family support. They're like, no, you're fine. You're this, that. It took me a little while to get over it, but I got over it. And then I thought, oh, okay, when I get older, I'm going to have plastic surgery. Everyone's going to think that I'm a monster, this, that, and the other. So like I said, I got over it. Good thing I had a good family to say, hey, you know what, this is you, you're fine. But I would look back on photos age 7 and prior, this isn't there. So now, like I said, I don't even think about it anymore. It's just a part of who I am. But that all turned into me disobeying. And then this was the outcome to my disobedience. So I was like, yeah, I'm good. So yeah, so that's the first one, self-perception. And then the second one, which is so important in this day and age, self-esteem. So self-esteem is the value and worth that we place on ourselves, and it like directly ties into our self-confidence and also our self-respect. All right, and how satisfied we are with our identity and our achievements. So unfortunately, there are a lot of people that are struggling with self-esteem. I mean, like the day and age that we live in with social media, clicks, likes, everyone's trying to be this most beautiful version, compare themselves with others. So self-esteem is a really, really big one, core concept that goes into self-image. That's number 2. And then lastly, self-ideal. Self-ideal is huge as well because this is the version of ourselves that we aspire to be. All right. So we want to be that best version of ourselves. How do we see ourselves? All right. And so this will encompass our values, our standards, the alignment or gap between self-perception and also self-ideal would be what motivates us for being satisfied and achieving those goals. So self-image is like a huge one. Like I said, there's so many different layers that I could pull back with it, but I would say these 3 core areas are going to be like a huge makeup of how you see yourself. 1, self-perception, 2, self-esteem, and then finally 3, self-ideal. So if this video has resonated with you because you have either struggled with your self-image at one time, or you're constantly, thinking about ways to improve, and there's nothing wrong with improving only if you're doing it for yourself, not for anybody else. So if this topic of self-image resonates with you, please go ahead and like the video. If you would like to see more content related to self-care, self-love, shifting your mindset to be the best version of yourself, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to see you here. There will be a new self-care related topic discussed here every single week. Otherwise, take care, be well, enjoy the rest of your week, and stay warm for all of you guys that are out there in the colder states. And then also everyone in California, my heart goes out to you. I hope you're on the mend pretty soon. So again, take care and be well.